Have you ever heard of a city so magnificent, so wealthy, that it was said to be built not by human hands, but by the hands of jinn? A city made entirely of brass, its walls gleaming under the desert sun, a beacon of unimaginable treasure and untold stories. This isn't just a fairy tale. It's the legendary city of brass, a story that has echoed through the ages in the tales of 1001 Nights. Today, we're embarking on a journey to uncover the secrets of this mythical metropolis. We'll delve into its origins, explore the thrilling expeditions sent to find it, and unravel the profound lessons hidden within its shimmering walls. So, grab your sense of adventure, because we're about to step into a world of magic, mystery, and ancient wonders. The story of the City of Brass is one of the most captivating tales within the 1001 Nights, also known as the Arabian Nights. It tells of the Caliph Abd al-Malik ibn Marwan, a powerful ruler in Damascus. One day, a group of travelers brought him strange brass bottles sealed with the signet of the Prophet Solomon. When opened, a terrifying jinn would emerge, smoke billowing out, before being trapped back inside. Intrigued and perhaps a little unnerved, the Caliph became obsessed. He wanted to know where these bottles came from. Where was the source of these jinn, imprisoned by Solomon himself? He summoned his wisest advisors and most seasoned explorers, setting them a monumental task: find the legendary City of Brass. This quest was not for the faint of heart. The Caliph entrusted the expedition to his most capable governor, Musa ibn Nusair, and his trusted guide, Sheikh Abd al-Samad. Their mission was clear: venture into the vast, unforgiving deserts of Arabia, find this city of myth, and bring back answers. The journey was fraught with peril from the very beginning. They faced endless sand dunes that shifted like waves on a golden ocean, scorching heat that could drain a man of his life, and a profound, unnerving silence that could drive one to madness. Along the way, they encountered surreal and magical sights. They stumbled upon a black castle, a pillar of stone that was once a man, transformed by divine wrath for his arrogance. Inside the castle, they found inscriptions warning future travelers about the dangers of greed and the fleeting nature of worldly power. These weren't just obstacles, they were omens foreshadowing the deeper truths they were about to uncover. Each strange encounter served as a stepping stone, a lesson preparing them for the ultimate destination. After what felt like an eternity of travel, they saw it. Rising from the desert haze, its walls shone with an unnatural, blinding light. The City of Brass, it was more magnificent than any story could describe. Its walls were forged from polished brass, reflecting the sky like a distorted mirror. Its towers pierced the clouds, and its gates were masterpieces of engineering and art. Yet, as they approached, an eerie silence enveloped them. There were no guards, no merchants, no children playing in the streets. The city, for all its splendor, was completely deserted. It was a ghost town, a silent monument to a forgotten people. The sheer scale of it was breathtaking, but the emptiness was chilling. The expedition team circled the city, searching for an entrance, but the walls were seamless, the gates sealed shut. How could a city so grand be so lifeless? And how could they possibly get inside? The challenge of entering the city was their next great test. The walls were too high to climb and too smooth to gain a foothold. Musa commanded his men to build scaffolding, but it was a perilous task. Several men fell to their deaths, their lives claimed by the city's silent defense. Finally, after much struggle, Sheikh Abd al-Samad, the wise guide, managed to scale the wall. When he reached the top, he stood for a moment, looked down at his companions, and then, inexplicably, he laughed, clapped his hands, and threw himself over the other side, into the city, to his death. The same fate befell every man who followed. A strange, irresistible force seemed to be pulling them to their doom. The expedition was in despair. What sorcery was this? It was then that Musa remembered the warnings they had seen on their journey, tales of enchantments and sirens. He realized that the city was protected by a powerful magic, a deadly lure that preyed on the minds of men. Refusing to be defeated, Musa devised a new plan. He had his men craft a long ladder with grappling hooks. This time, he ordered the climber to be tied with strong ropes so that if the enchantment took hold, they could pull him back. A brave volunteer ascended. As he reached the top, he too began to laugh, ready to throw himself over. But the men below held firm, pulling him back from the brink, saving him from the city's deadly embrace. Once safe, the man described what he saw: beautiful, beckoning figures, sirens made of metal and gears, who promised eternal bliss to any who joined them. It was a clever, deadly illusion. With this knowledge, they were able to get more men over the wall safely by plugging their ears to block out the enchanting whispers. Once inside, they finally managed to open the massive gates from within, allowing the entire expedition to enter the silent, golden streets of the city of Brass. What they found inside was a scene of breathtaking beauty and profound tragedy. The city was a marvel. Its streets were paved with marble, its fountains flowed with crystal clear water, and its markets were filled with shops overflowing with gold, silver, pearls, and jewels. The craftsmanship was beyond anything they had ever seen, but there was no one to enjoy it. As they explored, they discovered the city's inhabitants. They were all perfectly preserved, frozen in time. Merchants stood in their shops, guards at their posts, families in their homes, all turned to stone or mummified where they stood. They were a people caught in the middle of their daily lives, silenced by a sudden, catastrophic event. On a grand throne in the central palace, they found the queen. She was adorned with the most exquisite jewels, but her eyes were empty sockets, stripped of their pearls by time and decay. An inscription at her feet told their story. It was a tale of pride, wealth, and ultimately a devastating famine. Despite all their riches, they couldn't buy a single grain of wheat. They had prayed to their idols, but their gods were silent. In their final moments, they realized their wealth was meaningless. They died of starvation, surrounded by mountains of treasure. The city of Brass was not a treasure trove to be plundered. It was a powerful sermon carved in stone and gold. The Caliph's expedition, which began as a quest for power and control over the jinn, had transformed into a profound spiritual journey. Musa and his men were deeply moved by what they saw. The city was a stark and silent reminder of the futility of worldly wealth and the temporary nature of human life. All the gold, all the power, all the magnificent architecture couldn't save its people from their fate. They realized that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in faith, humility, and good deeds. Musa gathered only a few items as proof of his journey, most notably the inscription from the queen's tomb to carry its message back to the caliph. He left the city and its treasures behind, sealed once more in the desert sands, its lesson preserved for any future travelers who might stumble upon it. The tale of the city of Brass, as told in 1001 Nights, is far more than just an adventure story. It's a timeless allegory about human ambition, greed, and the search for meaning. The Caliph's desire to control the jinn represents humanity's endless quest for power and knowledge. The perilous journey through the desert symbolizes the trials and tribulations we all face in life. And the city itself, it's the ultimate symbol of materialism. It shows us that a life dedicated solely to accumulating wealth is an empty one. In the end, the city's inhabitants died surrounded by treasures they couldn't eat. It's a powerful lesson about priorities, reminding us that things like compassion, wisdom, and our connection to something greater than ourselves are the true treasures. The story encourages us to look beyond the glitter of gold and seek a richer, more meaningful existence. So, the next time you hear a story about a lost city of gold or a hidden treasure, remember the city of Brass, remember the silent streets, the jewel-encrusted queen, and the final, desperate inscription. It is a story that teaches us that the greatest journeys are often the ones that lead us inward, and the most valuable treasures are the lessons we learn along the way. The legend lives on not as a map to riches, but as a guide to a wiser, more humble way of life. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey into myth and history. If you enjoyed this exploration of the city of Brass, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world's greatest legends. Let me know in the comments what other myths or stories you'd like to see us cover next. Until then, keep seeking knowledge and stay curious.